Today, we're talking about something very personal to many of us, the loss of a beloved pet, and how we navigate grief, both our own and our surviving pets. We'll also be looking at what we can learn from our furry friends and the power of gratitude.
And we will also be sharing some stories of our past road trips and looking forward to some future adventures.
So come along and join us on this adventure. The positive journey begins now. Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to the Positive Journey. I'm Denny.
And welcome back, and I'm Dan. So we're here again to share stories, tips, and a little bit of heart with you.
Yeah, I was kind of reminiscing here this past week when we were talking about doing this episode and reliving some of the impact that the pets of of our past have affected us. I know that when I was a child, if a pet passed, I really didn't know it too much. But any of them that I had of my own as I grew and got out on my own, and their passing, how it really did affect and change my life.
I knew as a kid, I used to have funerals for them when they passed away.
I'm not shocked. I am not shocked by that at all. But no, and another thing I noticed is anytime I was at a moment of loneliness before anybody was in my life, the pets, were always there. Everything was fine and good. But the minute it seemed that I started getting somebody in my life and having a relationship with that person, that's when things would start going the other direction with the pet and they passed.
Oh, my.
So it just seemed like they were there and they knew they were there for a moment of like trying to keep me company.
Yeah.
And then the moment they seen somebody came in my life and until now thought I was happy, that's when they would go.
Aw.
It just seemed that way.
Huh. Well, losing a pet is definitely a universal thing. We've all gone through it at some point.
Yeah.
And it's something we all will face, at some point as pet parents.
And it's never anything that, no matter how many times you go through the loss of a pet, and we all know, they're not going to be with us forever. We wish they could, but we all know they're not going to be. It's still hard.
It is. And, unfortunately, we don't have bereavement days from our jobs for pets.
No.
I seriously, as a pet parent, think that should be a thing because they are part of your family.
And we've recently gone through that
episode
in our life when just before Thanksgiving, Honcho passed away and everything.
He's our 18-year-old Chihuahua.
Yeah.
He had lived a good life. He, before I met you, he went everywhere with me. I went to the store. He was small. I could put him in my pocket pretty much and take him around. So
he went places without you even.
Well, he did. He did run away one time, actually, but that's a different story. But it was difficult. It was very hard for me. And having to go to work that day. Now, I did take time off because, I did have some PTO, but I did have an event planned and I could not get out of it. There was no one that could step in and do it for me. So I just went and did that, and that was miserable enough.
Yeah.
Because it's like losing a child.
Well, and it is. It's difficult, even at the loss of a pet, to try to go to work and be in a good mood.
Right. Oh, you can't. I cried like an idiot all day.
Yeah.
And let's be real, you know, pets are they're better than people. And I think all pet parents are going to agree to this somehow. I mean, they love unconditionally. I mean, you could do something probably pretty nasty to a pet and they're still going to love you.
Yeah.
I mean, their love is just it's unfathomable. And that's why we enjoy having them around because we really get to see what love is. Humans think they know what it
And you
is,
do.
but they
I
don't.
mean, you do. I mean, your dog, let's say, may not be the friendliest dog towards other people,
Hmm.
but take a look in its face when you come through the door
Absolutely.
and how happy that dog is when you walk through that door. Or let's take an example, Apollo,
Hmm.
our pup. And when you mentioned about wanting to go on a car ride
Hmm.
or treats,
And his ears just
and,
perked up.
and just the look on his
Oh
face,
yeah.
how much he enjoys even that. I mean, they are the purest form of love there is.
Yes, they are. I mean, we've been married what 10 years, going into our 10th year,
9 years.
going into our 10th.
No, we are at 9 years.
9 years. Okay, it just seems so long. No, I'm kidding. But I mean,
Watch your next meal.
when
Is
when
all
I
I'm
come
saying.
home from work, you don't run and jump up and down and get happy to see me. He
I didn't
does.
do that in the beginning of our relationship. What are you
I
talking
used to at
about?
least get a kiss when I come home. But the dog, I mean, no matter what,
You
is
get
there.
food. That's all that.
He's there and he's jumping. And he's excited. You can go out and get the mail and come back, and he's like excited. I mean,
And he does. He sits there and watches until I come back from
yes,
the
yeah,
mailbox.
yeah. I mean, what kind of loyalty, that animals show to, and we've all had other animals, and they
Yeah.
have all been like that. They all just
I don't know. I
radiate
never
so
got that
much love.
happiness greeting from a parakeet or a fish.
Well, true,
The fish
true,
only liked me when I fed them.
true.
The parakeets liked me until I started playing ABBA music in the house,
Well,
and then
they
they
weren't
went,
ABBA fans.
no.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, no.
We did have birds years ago. Not us, but I've had them, and I had one that just when you turn on the music, he would just dance back and forth. He was pretty.
What music were you playing?
Just whatever. He liked music. Whatever song come on. He just liked it.
I understand.
His name was Rocky, and he would just go back and forth and back and forth. Yeah, he was cool. So he was happy when we come home.
Yeah. Okay. So let's touch on some of our past road trip adventures that we've had. We talked a little bit about our past road trips we had, places we enjoyed going to, and places we'd like to go to this year.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at some of our shopping trips that we've gone on,
Okay.
because to me, when you're on vacation, that's one thing that I find important to do anytime you've gone somewhere different is to buy like a little souvenir of where you've been. Now, you and I, on our vacations, we've gone on road trips to Rogers Sale, and we sometimes, depending upon what the color is that came out at Fiesta, we go shopping there and we buy some.
Yeah.
Like we need more Fiesta
We don't.
dishes in the house, but you opened the Pandora's box when you guys took me there.
You live in this valley. You have to have Fiesta.
I mean,
for those who don't know, it's coveted dinnerware in bright colors. It's amazing.
It's
amazing.
nice. I
It's
find
beautiful
it
stuff.
great. I
It's
mean,
beautiful.
not just their dishware, but some of their bakeware, because we got a few of their baking dishes, and I've had stuff that may have scorched on it, and it takes nothing to clean that off there. But, yeah, you've opened a Pandora's box when you took me there, along with when we went to Walnut Creek the one time, and we went into that one store down there that had a kitchen gadget area on one side.
Yeah.
And then you walked through this long hallway and you went to the grocery side of that store. That was nice. And we hit a few of the stores even down there in Walnut Creek in the town.
Yeah.
That store is like along the route there to it, but there was stores down in Walnut Creek that we hit, and some of them were really nice. It was different.
Yeah, it is.
It's like going old time shopping, I guess, where you walk into these small stores, not a great big mall or
Right.
anything like
Right.
that.
So that's in the heart of Amish country,
They have
Walnut Creek,
they have a
Holmes
store down
County
there
in
that
Ohio.
does some really good chocolates. I mean,
Oh
we
yeah.
came back with a lot of good stuff from there and T-shirts from there, and that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. When you go to places like this, even if it's somewhere in your home state,
Mm.
getting a little souvenir, a reminder of, you were in Walnut
Yeah.
Creek, or going to the aquarium up in Cleveland and getting a little souvenir that has Cleveland Aquarium on it, so that you have that little remembrance,
Yeah.
not just the terror of a shark swimming over your head
Right.
and everything.
Right. Right. Right.
Now, what about you when you went on vacations with your family? Did you guys do a lot of that, buying
Oh
souvenirs? Or,
no. The fact that you got to go was pretty much that's it. And not, you know, I think my family was more thrifty, I guess. My parents were Depression era children.
yeah,
Um, so, like, vacations for us growing up were simply camping. We did not go out of state. We never, you know, went on anything luxurious, but we would go to like Cedar Point, Idora Park, some of those kinds of things. My mom was the roller coaster woman, and that's it. No, we didn't buy
we didn't really
souvenirs.
go much out of state. I mean, when Forest Zoo was open in Pennsylvania, we went there a few times. Dad took us to Horseshoe Curve, but we still came back with like a little trinket to remember that we were there.
Nope.
Nothing.
No,
Wow.
that was just to them like probably waste of money. They they pretty much wanted you to enjoy the experience of it and not focus on.
Okay, you can enjoy the experience of it, but the experience of it is even brought back and remembered when you could pick up that little souvenir that said, "Oh wow, I was at Cedar Point.
Well, that's
I
why
remember
God made
that trip."
Kodak, I guess. you know,
Wow.
no, we did, and we didn't even eat out. Mom packed a cooler, and which I liked her food, so that was okay. Now you might get like an ice cream or candy or something
Yeah.
on your trip, but no, they didn't do
Oh
that. So
my.
to me, I don't know. I guess I know when we first got together, you're like, you want a souvenir, and I'd be like, no. That's why I probably was never really brought up to think it was
Deprived.
necessary.
You were deprived. Oh my God. How? But yeah, I mean, to me that's the whole part of going on vacation, is to be able to come back with like little trinkets or little
Yeah,
souvenirs,
little mementos.
something to remember the trip
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
you know. And I know we've talked about wanting to go to Disney. Um, Personally, I'm not going there to see Mickey Mouse, and I'm sorry if that hurts a lot of Disney lovers out there. My only reason to want to go to Disney is to go to the Hollywood studios and for the two of us to build our own
Well, that's
lightsabers
you're a
and
sci-fi geek. That's
to build to build,
why.
a couple of those remote control droids
Yeah,
and come home not caring whether, like I said, whether I see Mickey Mouse or not.
yeah.
I
I
don't.
mean,
I don't.
it's yeah. I'm the same way, really.
I mean, yeah, it's that sci-fi geek in me, Star Wars geek in me,
Well,
more
for
or
me
less, and not so much
personally, like
sci-fi.
it's the crowd. The older I get, I don't want to be around massive crowds where
Yeah,
where I have to walk in the sun and be miserable and scorching all day. I kind of like, not, and I do want to go, but I think what we do is our little like day trips or just a trip to random wherever we end up, and then just making the experience out of
Yeah.
I mean, because I think there's things uh, that are around you that people take for granted, like in our own home state. Like we went to Schoenbrunn Village in New Philly, which is an hour from here, and if you've lived around here, you know what it is, and it's like no big deal. But when you really get in and get the history of it, and see the living conditions of the Native Americans there in that missionary place, and knowing that they were all massacred, it's a different kind of
See,
thing.
but and that's the thing, and yeah, it's anywhere you live. Maybe if you've lived in that state and you've seen it a few times, it's nothing to you. Um, but yet, I don't know. For me, never having grown up here, never knowing about any of that stuff and those in Schönbrunn and Zor and Junaid and Hooten,
Mm-hmm.
um, that was like wow.
That village in Zor, just the ingenuity
Yeah.
that they had, because it was like they came and lived in a commune, so they were, to my understanding, like took the Bible very serious, where it says we all live together and we throw everything into the pot and whatever. Uh, just like the way that cream ran down those like ducts to get to where they need, and the water would come in and flush it out. And this person baked all the bread, this person made soap, this person did this, and they lived that way for quite a while. And it was until
And
they
it was
started.
rationed.
Yes, and
And it was
until
rationed.
they
You
started.
went to the bread maker, and with your house number,
Yes.
they knew how many loaves of bread to send specifically to that house.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that
It's phenomenal.
wow.
Just the ingenuity to do that back then.
And you look at today when you've got people that are going into stores and hogging everything off the shelves, not caring
yeah,
what they may or may not have left behind for
Exactly.
anybody else.
Exactly.
When you look at how that village was run there and things were rationed out, and you like I said, you would go up to the baker, you would hand them, or they would get to know, oh, Dan, you're from house 13,
Yeah.
and you get 2.5 loaves of bread today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Nobody was hoarding, nobody was hogging, nothing like that.
And the way they explained it is you had enough, and probably even a smidge more than enough, but there was no waste.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of did their own part, and for the most part got along. And it wasn't until they, the younger people started getting around, the worldly people, if you will, because they rented, didn't they had a hotel.
I want to
There.
say that was the only trip we went on that you didn't let me buy any souvenirs from.
We have souvenirs from there.
From
don't we?
Zor Village?
I thought we
I don't
had.
think so. Schönbrunn we did.
Okay.
Schönbrunn
We got
did.
something from there because I think there's pamphlets and stuff we got from there. I don't know that there was
Pamphlets.
trinkets available. I don't remember. But anyway, when they would put people up in their hotel, the business people coming in, because the canal was connected to
Yeah.
their village, then that's when the young people started like, oh, I want to live like everybody else, and kind of village started to dissipate at that time. But
Yeah.
But
I
it's
mean, that's
definitely worth a look.
That's even something you see nowadays. A lot of these towns, when people are moving out of them, it's because they're looking for something different. They're looking for something better.
Well, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Things keep on the way they are. We may have to live like that, with these prices getting sky high. But yeah, it's definitely, if you've never been, and if you've been but just kind of never really paid attention to the history, it's definitely worth a little tour.
oh yeah.
It's definitely worth a
Well,
tour.
even
That was
Schoenbrunn,
absolutely
even
fascinating.
Schoenbrunn, I enjoyed that one immensely, especially the one cabin. there at Schönbrunn that was haunted?
Oh yeah, yeah,
I mean, even the tour guide's telling you there's a ghost
yeah, yeah. Well, I'd
in
be
that cabin.
ghosts too. They all got murdered. I mean, they all
Well,
got
that's
massacred.
why I would hate to be the caretaker at Janadenhood, where that
Yeah,
where that massive grave is. I mean, you've
you
got a
know,
lot of pissed
we
off
were a
Indians
we
there.
were a brutal people.
You've got a lot of pissed off Indians.
Man.
No wonder this state is in so much suffering. I mean, you guys upset all these Indian Chief Logan.
Yeah.
Um, who was the other one you guys upset? There was a lot of Indians you
Well,
guys upset
I'm
in this
sure they
state,
probably was.
and I'm sure there's more than one reason why the Mothman flies
Well,
around.
that was West Virginia. He's
Okay,
over there.
he's only across the river. I mean, it's not like
True.
I'm sure Ohio had some reason to cause that to come into existence
I'm sure.
as well.
I'm sure. So, yeah, let's kind of focus back on what today's theme is, and that's losing a pet and what it means. I mean, I lost Honcho, who was our 18-year-old Chihuahua dog, and it was so sad because that morning he was in bed with me, and he kind of wanted up to snuggle, and he got real close and got up under my arms and then took his last breath. So, that was beautiful because I'm glad that I was with him, and hopefully he wasn't scared or anything. But wow, that was hard for me because
Yeah.
you know I remember coming into the office carrying him, and I'm like, I think that I knew he was gone, but I just kind of need you to go. He's gone. To make it
Let's
real.
be a little more clear on that. You came into our home office here. You didn't go walking into
Oh
your
no,
job's
no, right, no,
office carrying
right,
the.
right. That would be fun.
Oh dear God Almighty!
But that's hard enough on a pet parent. But we got to realize that our pet babies also grieve. So we have
Yeah.
two cats and Apollo. Now Apollo came here and has never not been without Honcho.
Right.
So yes, they were like siblings. They were really like brothers. I mean, because they would have their ornery little arguments and fights, but like I don't think that you could pick on one without the other one, and I don't mean pick on like we picked on them, but like even if we were playing and teasing, the other one, if they thought you was getting a little rough or whatever, would
I think it was
get
more.
pissed.
It was more noticeable, more so if like one of the cats
Oh
went to take a swipe at either one,
yeah,
the
and
other
playing.
dog would
We're
come to
talking playing,
defend.
but yeah, uh, yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
I mean the cats aren't like jumping and attacking the
No,
dog.
they like to play too. But yeah, and I think Apollo even at the end got a lot defensive over Honcho because I do believe they know.
Oh,
He knew
yeah.
that he was older. You know, did he know that he was sick? Maybe, maybe not, but he definitely knew that he was the senior dog
They
and he
probably
took care of
he
him.
probably would have known more than we would have because whatever was going on with Honcho, I mean you could smell it on him, and although we may not have known what that
Well,
smell
he
might
had
have
renal
been,
failure.
but
We know what it
Apollo
was.
might have picked up on it.
Well, I
Knew
think
there was an
he
issue.
definitely knew he was older.
But that didn't make it any easier on him
Oh no,
when he did
no.
pass, and we did lay him down beside Apollo as he was passing and everything. And yeah, when I had to take him to the funeral home and have him taken care of, um, I feel that Apollo does look at me with a little bit of resentment towards me because yeah, he knew I took Honcho and came home without Honcho.
Yeah, I don't know that he is resentful, but I'm sure he's confused. And I think we as pet parents have to we have to understand that our pet babies don't reason or have the ability to understand the way we do.
Yeah.
So you got to really have a lot of patience when this kind of thing happens. Because what's some of the things you're going to could see or going to see? So I do have a list here I'm going to read. So maintain routine and stability, because pets, they find comfort in routine. Stick to their usual feeding, play, and walk schedules. If their sibling absence has disrupted a shared activity like eating together, try modifying mealtime slightly to ease the transition. And meals for him was hard because they both ate at the same time, and he just quit eating for a while. Like he
Well,
didn't want to eat, and I think it's because brother wasn't here,
but
and
I
he
think what
sensed it.
helps is there's mornings you would make yourself a dish of oatmeal, and then he would see you're eating, and he would
Yeah,
eat with you.
absolutely.
So it would be like he's still eating with somebody,
Right,
just
right.
not.
Spend more quality time with them. Give them those extra belly rubs, those extra cuddles, and play. And if they seem withdrawn, that's normal. Gently encourage engagement, but don't be too forceful. Because just the way that a human's going to grieve, and in their own way, so is your fur baby.
Yeah.
So it's very important to be patient and to allow them to grieve in their own way. So some pets may search for them, they may seem sad, they may become anxious. Let them process that on their own time. If they saw their sibling's body, they may adjust more quickly as they understand what happened. If they didn't, they may be more confused. So you need to provide a safe and comforting space where they can retreat to if they need. If possible, keep an item that smells like their baby. So Honcho had a blanket that he kind of laid on because he was always cold.
And a
So
towel that he would be wrapped in when he went for his car
because when we
ride.
would take him on car rides, he got cold, especially when he got older and was sick. So we gave them to Apollo. Let them sleep in areas they used to share with their companion. If your pet is social, you allow them to interact with familiar pets or people. And if they seemed interested, new toys, puzzles, or activities can help keep their mind engaged. Loss of appetite, lethargy, excessive vocalization like howling or barking, or disinterest in activities could indicate deep grief. If systems persist beyond a few weeks, consult your vet. Avoid rushing into a new pet, and that's something I think that two things happen because I've been there and done this too.
Okay.
One thing is you're missing your fur baby, so you want to go right out and you want to get a new one because that's going to ease your grief. But you still have to get over your grief in a normal and healthy way too. So don't rush right out to get a new pet. Yes, it's okay to get one, but allow yourself time and your other fur baby time. Pay attention to their behavior. If they show signs of loneliness and perk up around other animals, they may be open to a new pet at that point. And just remember to take care of yourself too, because you're grieving as well. So, yeah, even our cats grieved in their own way.
Yeah.
Our one cat was not a rescue really, but kind of, because her owner passed away and we took him in. But Godiva has been with Honcho and Apollo.
She's been the only cat.
She's been the only
up
cat
until last year.
and she was born the same year as Putt, but maybe we got Putt 6 months later.
No, she was born the year before.
Oh, the year
him.
before. Okay.
Yeah, she was born in 2015 when I first came down to meet
and
you.
we got him in 17. So, all right, but she's never known any other dog but Apollo and Honcho. Now, her and Apollo are best friends because we used to have like a family room in our basement until we had that flood, and we just got to get that all fixed back up. But anyway, we would go down there every morning, kind of have our coffee and cigarettes when I smoked, and just kind of sit there with the animals, and they would play all over that room. That's going to be hard for one of them if the other one goes first. That's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Because they still are best friends. They
Yeah.
still are.
I mean, Mavis has adapted, the other cat.
Mm-hmm.
She's adapted to things here in the house. She knows the dogs here and everything.
Yeah.
Are they best friends? No. It's okay. She does her normal cat thing. I can come up to you and I will sniff at you. Don't you think you're going to be coming and doing that?
Right.
So it's one of them kind of relationships between her and Apollo.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they've adapted to both are in the house and everything, but
I don't know. They're starting to get along so much better than I thought.
Well, I don't know about that still, though.
They'll get there.
So how about we take a little look now at what we can learn as far as gratitude from our pets.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah. Our pets, they teach us so much, right? Like they remind us to appreciate the simple things for sure.
And they do. I mean, the dog more than the cats, I think, appreciates everything. I mean, he appreciates a lot that we give to him. I mean, he could be doing nothing more than just jumping up on the bed with us and taking a nap, and just the time he gets to spend with us is
Dogs live in the moment.
They do.
You know, and all the time that I've spent studying secular Zen, I should say, but I do practice and study a lot of Eastern philosophy. The simplest thing would be to look at a dog and go, I want to live like that, because they enjoy the moment. They feel their feelings in the moment. Like if they're upset, they feel it, and they move on.
Yeah.
You know, that's your goal, is to live like a dog, really and truthfully.
And he's thankful.
He's very thankful.
He doesn't care, if it's food that you took a bite off of and gave him a piece of it. He's thankful for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are people that aren't happy with whatever, whether it's their house or whatever. There are people that could not care what their house is. They want better. They want more.
Mm-hmm.
You look at that dog, and as long as he's with us, he's happy. And
we could be living in the mud puddle out front.
Yeah.
And and as long as he's with his family, he's got everything he needs.
He does.
And that's all that matters.
And he always will.
And if humans could live that way, man, this world would be such a better place.
Oh yeah.
You don't like something, you just go piss on it and then forget about it, and if you're happy, you play with it. I mean, that's the way to live. Yep. That is really the way to live.
It is. A lot of people need to start feeling like that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sorry if this is all sounding repetitive, but it's the truth.
Well, it is.
I mean, we can learn so much from our pets.
Yes.
And gratitude is especially one of them. Gratitude and unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people just need to start being more like that.
Yes. Who says we're the highest intelligent? Just, you know what I mean? Like, when you look at in terms of how to enjoy life,
we don't even want to go there.
Well,
because that dog is, I think, more intelligent than a lot of people, because, and we laugh when this happens. We could be talking to him. He looks right at us like he's understanding what we're saying. You tell him to go get a certain toy. He runs out of the room. Yeah, by name.
The correct toy.
He runs out of the room, grabs that toy, and comes back like, look what I got. Mm-hmm. And you're just sitting there like,
wow.
Oh my God. You know, you try to tell a kid to go get a certain thing, and they come back with 15 other things that
Listen,
you didn't send them for.
I managed for over 30 years. You tell people to go do a certain thing, they can't even do it. So, yeah. That is true.
Oh my
He is
God.
one special little buddy.
So I think we've pretty much covered a lot of everything in here. I mean, we really do need to, as a recap of today's episode, we really do need to remember that when you've lost a pet, it's not just you that are suffering. If there are other pets in the house, take them into consideration as well. And maybe the two of you can help console each other
Absolutely.
in getting through this together. And let's always remember that the power of gratitude is something we all need to have
Yeah.
and learn. And the best place to learn it is from your pet.
Absolutely.
So next episode, Dan, what are we looking at?
We'll be taking a look at things we can learn from our pets and answering some of your listener questions.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna do. We're not gonna cover road trips or anything in the next one because I think there are just the list of things we can learn from our pets
Right.
is probably just so extensive. I think we would do just nothing but the whole show
Right.
in things we
I
can
agree.
learn from our pets.
We don't have to touch on road trips in every single episode. So basically, we're just two old gay guys that just really enjoy life in the simplest of terms. And we just want to share some of our experiences with you.
In
Okay.
fact, I
So like
know.
even talking about pets and you know, helpful hints or whatever. We just want to be a resource.
In fact, I know there's going to be a few episodes, and especially with the warmer weather, we may be doing nothing but even just sitting here at home because once I get that garden going, it's going to be kind of. I know you don't have to sit there and watch it every day, and we can get away from it
Yeah.
from time to time. But
Who
we're
doesn't
going to be.
need gardening tips though?
Yeah,
Especially with this economy. You know, the way things are. I mean, learning some of these little tips and tricks can just help with your food budget, but it's just also just fun.
it's relaxing.
It is
To me.
It is.
It's relaxing to be out in the garden.
Yeah.
I never thought that when I was a kid.
See, I loved working in the garden.
I
when
hated
was a
it.
kid. Oh, I loved
Dad
it.
would put us up in the garden to weed, and I would do anything I possibly could to get out of it. I pull weeds, but maybe not pull them as good as he wanted it done.
Oh, see, we had to, or we got drugged
I
back in there.
was done up there. The minute you sent me there, my mom could probably have a whole row of onions weeded.
And you're still in the first plant.
I'm on about the first or second one. I'm still weeding around it like.
Oh no. No, I
Because
always liked the
you
garden.
weren't just weeding around the plant. You had to get in the path in between the plants too.
Yeah. So.
Ridiculous. That's what they make that fabric for, to put down in your garden.
See, I
so
hate
that
that
you
fabric. I hate it.
but so anywho, yeah, there may be times we'll be doing something here at home, but in either case, we will be here. So don't forget, subscribe, leave a review, follow us on Facebook, YouTube. All you have to do is search for Joy Without Justification. Your support means the world to us. And if you've lost a pet, we'd like to hear some of your memories, some of your stories. So email us at joywithoutjustification@gmail.com, and we will read them in another episode.
Well, thank you for listening, everybody, and peace out.
Have a great day. Go enjoy life. Peace out.